Well, the shutdown seems to be going on. So, and with no end, really. Republican strategist and pollster at American Pulse Research and Polling and host of Political Trade Secrets, Dustin Olson, and host of the Total Financial Hour on AM 870, The Answer, Republican strategist Earle-Sears. Guys, welcome on board here. Let's talk about this because I got to tell you something. I'm here in Washington, D.C., and no one, I mean, absolutely no one is talking about the shutdown. And we know that the last time the government shut down was back in 2018. We saw that it lasted 35 days from December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019. I was actually working in the White House during that time. And it was the longest government shutdown in history and cost the U.S. about $3 billion in lost GDP. Oh, my goodness, guys, give me the prediction. How long do you see this shutdown lasting? Dustin, I'll start with you.
I think they're starting to feel like they're getting some benefit out of it. However, the Harvard-Harris poll came out earlier this week, and 70% of Americans want the government to be reopened. 62% of Americans believe Republicans are going to win this shutdown battle in the end. And it's interesting. I think the American people don't always, tune into everything, but they do when you focus their attention, they understand things. And 55% say that they understand that this is the Democrats' playing to their base, and really, we can see that with Schumer and AOC and the rise of this Democratic Socialists in their party, and how much they're being really directed by those folks like Mamdani, AOC, and others.
Right, Arif, how long what's the financial impact? We saw this obviously in the last shutdown back in 2018, 2019, the big financial impact that it had in the country. What do you predict is going to be the case if we keep having the government closed?
Have a physical impact on the shutdown of the government. Last poll I saw was 6 out of 10 don't even understand what that means. They just don't want it closed because they think it's supposed to be a good thing to keep it open. That's fine. But they don't really understand what it means because there is no daily impact on them. Where the impact's going to start to be felt in small businesses, local businesses, is when one full pay cycle or pay period comes and goes. That's really going to happen in the middle of the month. So I think Democrats are going to use this No Kings protest as a ending time to say, okay, we made our point and we're going to come back to work. I thought they would do it by now because the political pressure is pretty heavy on them. But there just really isn't an impact. Our soldiers are going to feel it in a couple of weeks, maybe next week. You're going to see a few others, but everybody's going to get paid back. They all know it. It always has been. The difference is they've given power to President Trump to lay off people, especially laying off folks that are part of these government sector pro-public unions. And the union jobs themselves, which only feed money back into the Democrat Party anyway, I think they're going to start seeing a reduction in membership, and that's going to be a scream from their side. You'll see that soon.
All right. Well, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has been bragging about how the shutdown is good for Democrats. That doesn't make any sense, but oh well. Telling Punchbowl, quote, every day gets better for us. Here is Schumer speaking on the Senate floor.
Each day, our case to fix health care and end the shutdown gets better and better, stronger and stronger, because families are opening their letters, showing how high their premiums will climb if Republicans get their way. They're seeing why this fight matters.
Dustin, how is this Democrat shutdown benefiting anyone?
It's not, and it's amazing. 13 times during the Biden years, Democrats voted for continuing resolutions to keep the government open, and Republicans were on the wrong side of that, supposedly. At least that's what the media told us. And it shows that they're completely tone deaf, and I think this is why 55% of Americans say that they're doing this for their political base. And I think my colleague is right that the No Kings is a possible point they're trying to get to, so they can avoid all those nasty calls from radical left-wing activists. But I also think that next week is the week that payroll happens for federal employees and military.
Right.
So I think that's when it really becomes real, and we'll see how that works. Another thing that was in that poll this week, 65% of Americans want the Democrats to throw in the towel, including 63% of independents. So I don't think that there's a lot of normal people in the country who want this to continue, but Schumer has his reasons.
Right. I want to get into this right now about the Virginia governor's race. We saw that the one and only debate took place last night between Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears. The debate got a bit heated when the candidates were asked about trans students and if they should be allowed to play sports and use locker rooms and bathrooms that align with their gender identity or their biological sex. Earle-Sears clearly stated boys don't belong in girls' sports. But Spanberger, well, she didn't really answer the question.
Ms. Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes. And my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be dictated by politicians.
Sounds like she was sidestepping the question. Arif, your thoughts?
Yeah, there's only 3 types of people. I get in trouble for this. My very first interview 6 months ago, really pushed it through, which basically there's 3 types of people in my experience, both as a Los Angeles police officer and a person who's taught martial arts for years where both genders were there. We worked across the board, and I can tell you this. If you have somebody that's a pervert, basically a criminal, their job is to go into the women's bathroom in any way that they can. Second, you're going to have people that are cheaters. They've always been cheaters. You're going to find them in any sport, anytime. If they can put on a dress or a skirt, they're going to cheat. And the third is a mentally ill one, and those are the ones we should feel bad for, that we should give attention to and assist. There is no reason in the world you should go to a woman's locker room or changing room or a dressing room like some of the retailers, right? Kohl's department store, Target, they got in trouble for it. They backed off and they created a different space for women. This is important because these are our young girls. Title IX says something very important. It says women's sports are just as important as men's sports, and we should, as men that love our wives, our children, our daughters, our mothers, we should respect and care for them. And this is not a way to do it. And she's sidestepping because she knows she's on the wrong side of this, and this will go in history forever.
Well, and she's sidestepping because I think she'll lose votes definitely on this issue, as we've seen a vast majority of Americans agree that the boys should stay out of the girls' locker rooms. Dustin Olson, Arif Halaby, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mercedes.